Hey everyone.
Hey.
Alright, so about 10 minutes I suppose it was. ShoWTimE versus Lambo, starting off this best of 3 in this new group in New Gettysburg. In the bottom right as the red Protoss, he is ShoWTimE. Oh, I almost caught that. Oh, ShoWTimE.
Yeah, the Pro Micro.
Done fucked up. Yeah.
I'm just reminding the casters to update the calendar listing because, of course, there's a different event for whatever reason set up for this one. In the bottom left side, the blue Zerg player, Invasion's Lambo.
Is there a reason to put it in parentheses?
Because it's kind of like, hey.
A whisper.
By the way, like, remember that figure.
Thank you to Ian John 2003 for the 21-month resub. That happened during the break. Yeah.
Am I allowed to make a donation to choose my avatar? Like, am I allowed to donate to us and be like, I want the waifu avatar?
I get half of it, so sure.
Look, at the end of the day, I just want to be a beautiful little 2D anime girl, okay? That's what my life has come down to.
That's what people get mad at you for, though.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it.
It's a secret, guys.
Yes.
He loves all the attention.
Bathe in your insecurities. Keeps me young.
I don't know if it's the fact that you're a hamburger or that you brought up a joke about pickles, but I really craved pickles, so I went and had a couple. You know, it's funny.
Well,
the aftertaste kind of tastes like I had a hamburger.
That's because they're delicious.
Ah.
Hey, you know where hamburgers go to have a good time?
Where?
Where they go if they wanna dance?
Where's that?
The meatball.
Does that really work? I know, like, hamburger meat's kind of the same, but I don't know. The other ones made me smile. That one just made me question.
Made me question my life. Okay, how about this one then? Why do us hamburgers go to the gym?
Why?
To get better buns.
Heyo.
Like, I can respect that one. I like butts.
Where did this whole butts thing start off with? I gotta... Because I'm really not, like, you know, a super big fan of butts. I mean, I say a good one. I mean, like, there's,
Wow.
you know...
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Because I am an ass man. And everyone knows that boobs are just imitation asses on your chest.
Yeah, they're just butts on your chest. That's true. They feel exactly the same, too.
Okay, so ShoWTimE Lambo, by the way, I guess we do need to really drive this home, dude, because we've already been casting for about 4.5 hours. This is a brand new group, brand new series, so this is the preliminary match. There is no winners, losers happening yet. Apparently, the winners and the losers match will be going on simultaneously, however, so that will help cut down on some of the time for the broadcast, but it means we'll basically cast preliminary match into winners or losers into grand finals of the group.
Yeah.
That'd ideally be how it goes.
I can imagine we cast the winners, but we're not sure.
To be honest, we could pick whichever match looks more fun, I think. Like, if we have, like, Bly versus ShoWTimE or something, no offense to Soul and Lambo, I think I'd rather see that than other comment. It depends on who's playing where.
I don't know. Soul wins. Impressive. Yeah, I get you mean, but of course.
What if it's be like Bly versus Lambo, right? Like.
And the winners? Good point. I don't know.
So that's what I'm saying. We'll go with whatever looks the most enticing and delicious. Speaking of enticing and delicious, be right back. I'm just grabbing a mirror, and I don't even mean because I'm a hamburger. I'm just a stud muffin.
Muffins. Okay, bye.
That's a phrase I don't know how it came around. Like.
Yeah, stud muffin. I mean, a muffin full of studs would not be very delicious.
No.
And a stud made of muffins would not be very effective.
You just blew my mind. I never thought about it from that point of view. Only the first one. I never took a step through that door.
Yeah, anyway. Anywho. Okay. Stargate. Second Stargate, actually, on the way. Followed very quickly by a Robo. So it's like, it's this order of things is a little odd. But it'll certainly be a surprise. Like, Lambo is not getting Overlord speed. And of course, even if he did, the timing on it would mean that Phoenixes would ideally stop his scouting anyway. This Overlord really should have been dead. And the chance of him seeing the second Stargate would have been very low. So he'd see a okay count for one Stargate, be like, okay, that makes sense. And then there'd be like suddenly 7 more, and he'd be like, what the shit? It'd be quite a big surprise. And that's how it's really going to work out, especially if ShoWTimE does hide any of these Phoenixes. So, we'll see. We do have Lambo going for +1, Baneling Nest, a Roach Warren. So if he uses those roaches, gets a lot of roaches, that is, and uses them, of course. Or if that's more just for additional number of Ravagers. I do see Snoot going for like a perfect amount of 8s and then just like all-ling Baneling. But others are just still adding on, you know, a good number of roaches and really splitting it down the middle. Roach, Ravager, Ling, Baneling.
That's actually something I'm curious to see whether that'll work here. Ravagers obviously are likely to never hit Phoenixes on their own. ShoWTimE did it! ShoWTimE, you magnificent son of a bitch! I can kiss you! He took an island base!
Calm down.
He's gonna be like one of the first pros to take an island base! And this makes me... Hang on. I love this so much more now. I was gonna start talking about the dynamic of Phoenix. Like, we've seen the abuse, we've seen 3 Stargate production, we've seen Mass Phoenix do well, but this is something that does police the sky and absolutely gives you control and dominance over the island bases. So I love that he's capitalizing on taking one. I don't think it's game breaking. I don't think it's much different than taking a 3rd regularly, but I think it's really cool to see.
Yes. We have seen this before. Protoss eventually went into Tempests and just mass air, and it worked out fairly well. But it's not very common. So it is pretty cool to see him actually use the double Stargate to take this base, take control over the game, but also doing quite a bit of damage. We witnessed there a lot of queens going down.
Yeah.
There is a small possibility that's just simply overwhelming a unexpected Zerg player. They don't have enough Spore Crawlers, they don't have enough queens, and they actually commit on the attack and then follow up with like a Adept all in, right? But that's not happening. 3rd base is down, Transmover probes, there's no Adepts to really even help, if that was even a possibility in ShoWTimE's mind. And it's going to be into double Robo. Now, the Spire might just be the most surprising thing in this game. I know the 2nd Stargate is a little surprising, the 3rd base location was cool, but...
Yeah, it's a Stargate into what is already Mass Phoenix. That almost seems suicidal and crazy. He hasn't scouted the island base. The Overlord now is heading over there, so he'll see it by accident and be glad he went for the Spire, I guess. But you're probably better off trying to get that base killed with a Nidus Storm than anything else.
But it is one of those things, it's like... I don't know if he's going to go for Mutas right off the bat. Sometimes we see this go into someone who has Stargates, it's Corruptors first, and then it is an actual Muta Corruptor game, which is not seen anymore, really. Bly did it like months ago on Arena, but when you think of Heart of the Swarm, how often Zergs are trying to force the Muta issue, and they would go into the whole Corruptor, Muta, maybe even Vipers later on. It's pretty rare, but there are the Corruptors right now. We'll see if those are really just to police the sky, or if he's gonna have Mutas.
Oh, ShoWTimE, you glorious bastard!
I'm so excited about this.
No, you don't understand. This is actually a good representation of my current situation in real life, where it builds up for so long and you can't do anything about it, and you hope to God somebody comes along and helps you with this problem. And when you do, it's that sweet release of just knowing that, oh, it looks so good and so glorious and feels amazing to watch happen.
Well, you should have just asked your nurse.
About what? Taking island bases? She knows nothing about StarCraft 2.
About that sweet release.
I think that the Command Scrapper count is actually not a bad response to this. Without Anion Pulse Crystals, it is hard to actually fight the Corruptors, as Phoenixes do not deal much damage to them. But as we can see, if ShoWTimE has Lambo end up dedicating too much into Corruptors, that's going to work in his favor, as he is still going for other units.
Stupid air blockers.
Yeah, use the caustic spray or whatever the hell it's called.
Right. So that's why I said this. The Spire may be the most surprising thing, not just because it's surprising for us, who's like, what are you doing? I don't want to double up a Stargate, but for ShoWTimE, who by going for this many Phoenix expects a certain reaction from the Zerg player, and that reaction was probably not expected to be Corruptors.
It's so depressing that the cannon died faster to Corruptors than Corruptors died to a cannon.
12 drones went down somewhere because the Phoenixes were off to the side being busy, but they really can't do very much to help out versus this. They can definitely chase. With the help of Stalkers with their overcharge, that was perfectly fine, but like the count's a little too similar for Phoenixes to actually want to tango with this. In fact, Corruptor count's higher now, so Lambo's going to try and force the issue.
Yeah. Storms, by the way, will help deal with any amount of clumped up units. Especially works well in Corruptors, mostly because they are armored, and of course Storm pierces armor, so that'll be kind of nice to see. But he does take a fourth normally. My problem is that this third base location that he's currently on, we've talked about this earlier today, we'll talk about it here again. Oh, that Nexus might even go down. It's so hard to actually fight around that base. The map layout is just not good.
I didn't realize there's a foot to overcharge so available, so a little more committed than Lambo wanted. And in fact, Phoenix has come back too.
It should be able to be taken again. I mean, he'll kill the rest of the Corruptors. There you go, he just retakes it immediately.
I do wonder if that was worth it.
Left,
oh
though,
my god!
The Banelings! Oh, the Banelings go down to the Storms! Turning into Archons, now he should be able to take on the Lynx. The Immortals should be able to take on the Ravagers. And well, it was almost going to be a great fight for Lambo. Goes so freaking well for ShoWTimE. Let's not forget, if he wants to really bring the cavalry in, Phoenixes can come in and pick up every single one of these non-Zergling units.
He's so afraid, though, of the Ling, what the hell? You got your bling bling. The Ling Flood, that he does escape, and I think that is the right move. Ling Floods would have come in, he might have been able to snipe this base, but then he would have been surrounded. There was no escape, no Mothership Core, no Warp Prism, and the Phoenix will help so much versus mass Ling Floods. So I do like that ShoWTimE backed off. He also recognized probably that he didn't have a very high potential for reinforcements. You know, this base only just got up. This base still not up. This base still not up. Had he over-dedicated and been like, well, I have warp-ins, he would have been wrong. He would have just been out of luck with nothing to defend his bases with. So, love the pullback, love the engagement. It went pretty damn well for ShoWTimE, and Lambo definitely is recovering. Like, he didn't have an Invitation Pit, he lost so many Corruptors, he lost so many Banelings. He's on his way to Hive now, but let's not forget that even if he gets to Hive, what exactly is the easy-peasy Hive unit? Ultras, he has Immortals. Broodlords, he has Stargate.
Yeah, well, actually, Broodlords may be a little bit more appealing. We'll talk about that more in a moment, but the Lings getting through here is a pretty big deal, because the army's brought back. He does have a bit of a mess to deal with. That third base now is getting attacked. I mean, ShoWTimE shouldn't lose too much to this, and as you point out, like, he was taking the island bases back. They're finishing up now as we speak.
Lambo really wants to do a lot more with these Lings, but keep in mind that, I mean, every single Ling he loses is like, you can't morph them into Banelings. You need to be careful to have a defensive army when ShoWTimE finally gets fed up and pushes across the map.
Even just grabbing the Banelings, the Ravagers, any freebies with the Phoenix are really nice. I mean, these were investments into the early game that are still paying dividends here in the mid/late game, depending on point of view, obviously. But hopefully he puts those probes back on mining. He is way oversaturated at the island base currently.
He needs...
I mean, this is Warp Prism. No, he didn't. So he can still shuffle off the island. He can also recall up if he really wants to, but... attack in the north coming in. This is where the Warp Prism is, so that's why he's not paying attention over there. Keep in mind, ShoWTimE's actually got about 20-ish supply in Stalkers on that island, so he's not actually fighting with the full force of his army here. Missing a couple Stalkers not the end of the world, obviously. Storm's gonna be the biggest factor here as they do look to hit the Banelings again. First one, not so great, but he's got two more where that came from. Missing the Storms, though, a little bit late to the party. They do have the Banelings go up on top of the Immortals.
Yeah, there was nothing good for the Banelings to hit anyway. There's like a handful of Adepts, and the High Templars are being pulled back. They had no choice but to roll in.
Map while this goes on is getting to that third base, but the attack on the left side definitely way more important. Storm's still coming down.
So dead.
ShoWTimE walking over Lambo, and I do believe that's going to be game.
GG.
ShoWTimE, senpai, you are...
GG hamburger.
ShoWTimE Twan. Oh, that's right. I forgot it was the hamburger.
Yeah. Mutts and Linlings.
Wait, hang on. ShoWTimE senpai, you're so beautiful.
Change that back to a hamburger.
No
one donated for that. No one donated for that.
What?
Good sir. Good sir. That is a dick butt.
What?
What?
What was that? What'd you say? Hello?
I guess dick butt doesn't have any ears, so you're not wrong. I'm shouting.
I got a penis for a bite, but no ears.
They're not in a lobby yet, so we're gonna go to a break. See you guys soon. Welcome back. We are into King Sejong Station. In the bottom right, up one, he's ShoWTimE.
Are we doing intros? Because I can't fucking hear you.
My bad. Yep, your turn.
Just saw the camera spin so awkwardly.
Your turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome! In the top left side, it's going to be the blue Zerg player, Lambo.
There we go. I don't know if many people really are tilted about this. I mean, I'm a little annoyed by it, not gonna lie. It's only so many times I can force myself to laugh, but...
What? At what?
By the in-game face rig stuff. There you go. See, people are complaining again?
Nobody complained.
Everyone's complaining. Literally everyone. All 3,500 people. And all 2,000 U-bots. Anyway, I don't know, there's nothing else to do in between the breaks. They actually got the lobby back surprisingly fast and actually, like, went. That's the trick, though, right? You can get in the lobby immediately if you're the first one invited, but oftentimes it takes them, like, 2-3 minutes to actually start the damn game. So I'll give them this one, but there's nothing else to do except to laugh at face rig. What y'all complaining for?
Well, I'll try and put my sad feelings aside to talk about how great that game was out of ShoWTimE. And well, unfortunately, there's no island bases or super duper cool strategies that'll really get me going and revved up on this map. I still think if he just plays pretty standard play, he'll be all right. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of faith in Lambo. In fact, there's a lot of comments on pretty much every Lambo VOD we've ever cast on YouTube where people get mad at me for having too much of a Lambo bias. Don't give a fuck. I really like Lambo, and I think he's a great player. But he might not get a chance to show it against, say, ShoWTimE, opposed to the other two members of the group. As ShoWTimE is really just one of the best Europeans there are, frankly. Not the best, but one of the best.
Lambo bias.
Yeah, people are particularly salty on that cast of Polt versus Lambo, where I was trying to sell Lambo since nobody had friggin' heard of him before.
Ah. Oh. I'm in a little bit of the anti-Polt train, actually, so people should get mad at me. People would get mad at me for that if they knew, and now everyone knows. Oh my god.
No, see, I'm just the easy scapegoat at this point. Doesn't matter, G2A or otherwise. Like, if you were to say right now something horrendous, like I don't believe in the Holocaust, people are like, fucking Rifkin, god damn it.
Probably Ekteron. Told her to say that. Yeah.
So I got blink twice if you're in danger.
Yeah,
right, well,
okay, I will. I'm blinking twice right now.
The Oracle... Well, Protoss joke. The Oracle is an interesting choice. I guess the Stargate play in general is not a bad opener. We've talked about it being particularly a bad opener against some players. Like, if Lambo identifies the Stargate again early, we're probably going to see a lot more lanes. We're going to see a lot more Bailings. They're probably trying to hit way earlier. But this Oracle should be able to clean up this first wave of Lings with relative ease. In fact, he doesn't really need it if he just keeps the Adept in that wall and doesn't actually move. He does have a Mothership core. This isn't that variation of the build where you skip it for the fast Stargate.
Lambo could have committed harder to more lanes trying to get a cancel on his third base, because he did see that it was a Stargate opener so quickly, but it's always a bit of a risk, and ShoWTimE did have the Sim City set up fairly quickly. Like, he was on top of it. He didn't get a Nexus then wait like a minute or two. But the opportunity's lost, and now Lambo just has to go back into his own droning, and it's kind of like a situation where you're going to a macro game. 3 bases versus what is probably 4, as Lambo gets the rest of his he has to get enough drones first. Wants to get his lair done. A little surprised he's getting a Roachborn, knowing that ShoWTimE got his third so fast, but I feel Lambo should be going to a 4th base. If he doesn't, I suppose a Roach Ravager attack could be very old-fashioned and could work, but I'm not a huge fan of them. It's a Hydralisk Den as well, very quickly. I guess maybe he won't get anything from the Roachborn. He sees a Void Ray, that really can't scare him that much, just scares his Overlords.
Well, it's interesting the types of responses you can do this, right? Like, on one hand, you can go units that directly conflict and engage the air, so Queens, or in this case, Hydras. On the other hand, you try and just circumvent the air entirely. You have massive amounts of Lings, and you flood on through the middle of the map. I don't think either is necessarily better than the other, but a lot of it really will come down to both players' control. Like, we've seen way too many times those Phoenix are AFK for like 5 seconds. All the Hydras just kind of walk underneath and kill them. Oh, hold the phone. This is a really fast Lurker Den. Yeah,
when I saw the Hydralisk Den go down so quickly, I was like, I think it's got to be a fast fast Lurkers.
I kind of thought that was the direction this would go, just because that is more common than either. Like, just generally speaking, PvZ, like, you want Lurkers in your composition if you can afford it at some point. Everybody would if they could. But to go for it this quickly, it's not like 3 lurkers don't do much, right? It's when you have a lot of lurkers that are really scary. So unless he's planning to drop them early on, there's not going to be too much effectiveness gained from getting this quickly.
Yeah, I think it is just like, you know, again, these roaches, they weren't necessary a minute ago, so the Roach Warren, I think, was more timing out with just getting roach speed as fast as possible, but he's now getting an army because ShoWTimE also has an army now. Like, the point of just, like, they're both droning up and macroing is kind of gone. The Hydralisk Den timing might be more just because you do need so much time to get to a Hydralisk Den. First it's the lair, then the Hydralisk Den, then the Lurker Den, and then the Hydra's turning into Lurkers. So it's timing out well with Lambo being on 66 drones. You know, pretty good. On his way to his 4th base. He's getting enough of a, you know, ground defense, beginning defense to stop ShoWTimE from pushing in with this one. And he will get that bank to get more than just 3 lurkers, 4 lurkers. That's, in fact, he's getting 5, so, yeah. Almost 6. But it's gonna be go time soon enough, and ShoWTimE starting things off with a bit of a Warp Prism drop. He did add on a 2nd Robo and a Robotics Base as soon as he saw that Lurker Den timing, by the way. So he's gonna go Blink Disruptor, not charge Lot Immortal. This poor guy is trying to @ me on Twitch, you know? So it shows up with my name, and he's just failing at every front.
Is he spelling it wrong, or what?
Well, first he added BaseTradeTV, and then talked to me. Like, at BaseTradeTV, ZG. And then he @ ZG. I see you, but...
I see you.
I'm just gonna time you out if you keep on talking.
Alright, Ling's trying to look for that surround. Let's not forget, lurkers have a really cool dynamic too when it comes to these disruptor shots. If it ends up being a stalemate because both players don't want to advance forward, lurkers are actually the worst side of this. It costs money to replace, it's not fun to deal with, whereas the disruptors just operate on that cooldown. The one small upside though is that the disruptor shot, if it misses, is a pretty big miss.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, Lambo almost ran into it.
He gets 8 Roche, but that's the biggest blood splat. Jesus.
I was a little surprised that Lambo pushed out like he did. But now trying to get a concave on ShoWTimE before he gets back up that ramp. Force fields were necessary. Not gonna find it and will leave. But I was gonna say Lambo is nearing that point of being maxed out, so this makes a lot of sense to try and be aggressive. But once you see the Protoss armies at a certain point too, it's like, can you really do anything? ShoWTimE was not far behind, and is still not that far behind on the supply, as it was a fairly passive game early on. And his army's looking almost great, almost better, you know? 5 disruptors now, about to be 7, charge +2. All those things finish up, and I think max out army versus max out army, Lambo's is actually worse. Even as his +2 and, you know, range and speed finishes up for him. At some point, you guys start thinking about that hive. Or, I guess, out positioning the Protoss army. That's always so hard to do.
Easier said than done, for sure.
He's always at a risk doing this, going to a concave. That's where disruptors are especially bad. Oh, but then on top of the ramp, trying to go for the lurkers, not the lings. Finds one of them, and then almost kills 2 more. Zealots actually go over here. +2 not quite done. Charges, however. These rocks behind were cleaned up, not a problem. And Warp Prism did survive that. Dark Shrine in the way, +3, Storm. Lambo does realize, I guess, that he's not really going to get very far. This is an Immortal-based army, all those Lakers are dead. But yeah, Lambo's not going to very far. He's not going to be able to break the 4th base, thinking about that hive. What's over here? Oh, nothing.
It's a Phoenix. It's chilling. Getting that vision. That good vision.
Nice Revelate. Here's a pretty common tactic being, I guess, thrown in when you play this style. Roach, Hydra, Lurker. Seems more often we see these 3, 4 Overlords try and heavily distract. Lurker getting, or Disruptor's getting decent shots. Always gotta be careful to not run out of Disruptor shots, but with 8s, that should never happen.
Ideally not.
Ideally. A lot of units over here. Seems that ShoWTimE was fairly prepared for it, though. Oh, feels bad. That was
feels bad, man.
Zealots.
Well, Both players still have really heavy supply. Both players have a lot of priority in where they're trying to push on the map. Like, Lamb obviously wants to get to the natural, so maybe jumps on production or kills probes. ShoWTimE's just trying to break the center of the map, period. Like, I don't think there's any real goal here of trying to kill the hatchery per se, but he just needs to break the army of Lambo. But the surround comes in. He's coming from every angle possible, and ShoWTimE is not dealing with it too badly, but he does have to back away and force Lambo to fight from one angle instead of 5.
Again, if this is an immortal-based army, I feel so much better to handle concaves, but disruptors, you know, they get tapped, they kind of die, they're pretty weak. If it is a concave, that means less of a chance to get those huge splash moments.
Yeah.
I'm always worried for ShoWTimE to push out like that, but he's still doing fine. You know, he does back off and have a pretty even army split every single time. Tries to go over into Tempest as he realizes it's around that time. He never actually scouted the hive, despite having Lucid Phoenix so close to it. But it's 12 minutes when the game has been, you know, easy, accessible to 4th, 5ths. Yeah, they're probably thinking about a hive. And you should be thinking about a Tempest. He actually sees a Viper, so that confirms the hive. Nothing for Broodlords, though, which I think the Tempests are first and foremost made for, just in case they do out-tech you. But now he doesn't have to worry about Broodlords. All he has to worry about is killing the Lurkers from afar, which Tempests are going to be great at. Ooh, interesting. Is he afraid of like a Hela swap or just getting all the upgrades because he can?
I'm guessing because he can. There's been nothing to really indicate that it would be a swap. Oh, I do like these Overlords dropping. If they get the Union Pulse Crystals, obviously that'd be cool, but there's nothing here that really shoots up is the problem, so there's a bit of a clock. Like, everything here will eventually die. It's a question of how long, how fast. Overlord actually scoops up some of the units to try and keep them out. Lurkers walking in past the Immortals end up taking massive hits. Mistakes on a Lambo control, maybe? He does almost bait that Disruptor. Actually, he does kill 2 of the Zealots. That's kind of awkward. Attacking the south side, also going to trap around this backside. Lurkers are going to kill the Fleet Beacon at this rate. The Stargate's depowered. We don't have more Tempest on the way. So Lambo is actually accomplishing some damage with the attack. The question is it enough? The Lurkers in the main are eventually going to get cleaned up at some point.
Yeah, you'd think so. The 4th base might go down, though. Blinding Cloud in the cannon seems almost unnecessary with how many Lurkers there are. Instant pull on the probes. ShoWTimE has his own harassment going on. There's actually nothing for Lambo to go back to, and he just taps out. So much action leads to a fairly quick GG. Hey, what happened to Face Rig? Now it's just your picture.
See, it was a noise. You turned it off.
See,
Plus,
the
that guy
actual
donated like
wasn't.
$2, so I'm like, that time's over. You know, what ride do you put a $2 coin into that lasts this long, right?
See, the face rig itself wasn't annoying. You going nyam 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 as Dick Butt was nyam nyam nyam.
Look, you just
nyam 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 nyam.
that's my
Nyam,
Morty
nyam,
voice,
nyam.
okay? I was doing my best Rick and Morty I could.
What the hell, Rick and Morty voice is that? I've watched like 8 episodes. I know something.
I know a thing or two, Rifkin, right?
Anyway, well, I guess your old picture's back up for now. Insert $2 more to ride this ride.
Yeah.
What are we gonna get into next? Bly versus Soul? Is that it? Is that the
I
one?
believe so.
That's
I
the
believe
secret?
Soul.
That's the secret. Yep, Bly versus Soul. They do have to do the vetoes. Oh, I might actually have the vetoes done. Ooh, okay, so they gotta make the lobby, so we'll be back in 2 minutes.